Hello, folks. Good afternoon, and welcome to XM Live Education. This is the Advanced Room Trade of the Week with Mr. Nisaf Kolev and another swing trader, Mr. Gil Pass. Beautiful Thursday here. Hey, Gil. Very good to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Good to see you. Lots of actions in the market. I think we have
Beautiful.
this is I think the best year beginning for a long period of time. Like January, absolutely fantastic. I normally, I end the year good and then I start to make mistakes in January. But this time it works out very, very well.
I absolutely agree. From technical perspective, it works good. From the data that we have been getting this week, we have a lot of room for nice swing trades, even a home run trade with the Japanese yen, something that I have been baking for some time. I believe still it's on the table. It's not too late for that. It's even, I can say, in very early stages.
Yes.
As much as I do hate bonds, I never invest in bonds. I probably will never do. Yeah, it's like most traders are bond haters really, because they like a more dynamic type of environment, and with bonds it's more of a old school, since that's the core market and not so fast, even though we had very fast development since the COVID pandemic, but that's a different story. It's exceptional environment because of um, elevated inflation levels and Fed stepping in. But even I'm hater of bonds, and I think that it's a very good opportunity to start buying bonds at the moment. Maybe not for a complete reversal, but maybe for some, not wait them to mature, but to have some exposure there too.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I think, yeah, we will see. I think if bonds come down, they come artificially down only in the short term. I think long term will stay high and maybe go even higher. I think we will see prices above 5% in the 10-year bonds.
Um, it really does depend on next week Monday inauguration speech, because and also the actions taken afterwards. Because if Trump really does start pumping oil, um, this is very disinflationary. Imagine with the current macro environment, oil suddenly getting to $40.
Yeah, but oil and energy prices is only in core CPI, not in normal CPI. So
They are indirectly in the normal CPI, not directly. They are
yeah.
indirectly because transportation of all type of goods, and um, it's depend whether it's about the um, freight is called freights.
Yes.
Yes, whether it's about ship freights, or it's not direct impact on this, it's indirect. But if oil gets to $40, I mean, inflation is going significantly down, except there is other some force major events that we something
I
that we
think there will be also other forces. And again, even if inflation comes down, that doesn't mean that the long-term yields have to come down. If the market feel like this long-term national debt, it's a huge risk, long-term yields can stay high
yeah,
for a longer period than what we think.
I'm
I
with you. I
I
support
think
that theory.
yeah, I
The-
think Trump will push the Fed to lower interest rates,
oh,
even though
for
we will
sure.
have higher
He
inflation.
is going to say that on Monday.
Yes.
He is going to say that rates are too high, and the market would flip the table on this, because the market knows that if he wants to achieve it, it's going to happen unquestionably, one way or the other. Um, and the easiest way for him to do that is to say, okay, we're going to stop hiring government jobs. We're going to fire as much as people, so the non-farm payroll will look terribly wrong, terribly bad, and Fed will be more or less forced to cut interest rates. So he has the force to do it himself. And anyway,
Look,
they're planning to.
before
They're
we continue, before we continue in this direction, maybe we want to do a small advertisement that we will talk intensively tomorrow about this, where we will talk really about what will happen after Trump's come into the White House on Monday.
That's right. All the viewers, the session at 3 o'clock, which is 2 hours later than now. This is going to be special panel discussion, and it's going to be analyst versus trader, which Gil Pass will be the trader, and the analyst, it's either Rafi Boyajan or um, Haralambos. I cannot say the last name because it's very complicated to me, or Bambos. So any two of them are going to be the analysts, which are the analysts from the XM special analyst team. You got special reports, and you could find them all over the website, etc. I invite everybody to tune in and participate actively, because we are not going to only dissect the inauguration, but the core of it is for us to provide trading opportunities based on which direction the speech will go. Because so far the market have been, yeah, I mean, Trump could have said a lot of things before swearing, which is going to happen on Monday. He could
Yes.
have said a lot of things in order for him to get elected. But it's very important on the first day what he promised, because it is going to be very vital for the next 4 years of his ruling. Of course, he could change on different environment, um, but I think every word of that inauguration speech will be very important. We have topics like Russia, Ukraine, Middle East conflict, oil prices, crypto um, reserve, China, inflation, interest. You have everything that you ever wish for,
Middle East, Russia, Ukraine war,
right?
tariffs, Greenland, Panama. It doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop.
Canada.
That's right. Or the 51st state of the U.S. In other words. So you got a lot on the table in the on Monday. Unfortunately, it's the inauguration will be happening at a time that we are not live. It's 2 hours after we finish the session, but we're going to make sure that you guys are well prepared for it. And of course, if the logic and the trading opportunities that we present to you match your psychology criteria, and you're a person that you do trade those events, there you go. Just uh, just jump in and trade it into your XM account.
Absolutely. So today in the trade of the week, we actually have to already consider the inauguration, because we could see major trend reversals at the day, and we have, yeah, this has to be considered.
I
So
have
you're bringing up oil, and I think you already want to trade oil. That's what I feel.
no, I don't. I have no clue, no idea here. It's a very bullish trend. That was your last trade of the week,
Yes.
and I suppose that you had a hit and run 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio to the high, something like this, as far as I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, like, I'm angry, of course, that I put a take profit. I mean,
But not an alert, right?
not an alert. Yeah, I had to
Yeah.
take profit, and I think my trade was open 3 hours, and I was in take profit. So it's it wasn't really a swing trade; it was an intraday trade.
Well, life comes at you fast, sir. I mean,
Yes.
oil, no, definitely not, because this is a very tricky for Trump inauguration, and we have both upside and downside risks. Um, I think let's maybe start with my last week trades,
Hmm.
and I got Euro Norwegian krona that it's running okay. I gotta say it's not too great. We have broken out of this. formation, flag formation, or just however you call that. We got a breakout, retest, lower low, lower close, second sell signal. And just now we're having some pushing up with some false breakout. I think I would
Yes.
wish to give a little bit the stop loss down, in a case that the market just completely reverse and go through this like a hot knife through butter. So we have a V-shaped recovery at the moment, where I do have the false breakout below the low. I don't abandon the idea. Yeah, actually, no, $20 is fine. Yeah, I'll keep that. And the other one that I have is Euro Australian dollar. Very identical technical chart. I mean, we got we got the breakout here. We got a retest. We had it coming down, and now we have a false breakout below this low. So it
Hmm.
does look bullish too.
Yes.
This one, I will protect it 100% for sure. Yes. With Australia, I mean, China news definitely going to have impact on the Australian or New Zealand dollar, and China news is going to come from Trump, on Monday inauguration, most likely. He's definitely going to speak about tariffs, and now it's a little tricky, the sentencing of the whole thing, right? Because he could speak about tariffs, but he could say it in not very aggressive tone, and meaning that he's ready to sit on the table and negotiate, or he could speak in a very aggressive tone that's probably going to be super inflationary, um, and it's going to be super devaluating Australian dollar. That is like no chance for, no talks. This is like, I mean, something like it's already done deal, right? Something that he's not ready to make an exception or even sit on the table. That's very tricky for Australian dollar. It's very tricky for New Zealand dollar. Canadian, not so much. I will not put it. It's Chinese yuan in the equation, and we have Japanese yen somewhere in the picture from this whole thing, um, because him being aggressive on tariffs, the market will consider it as high inflation. Whether that's going to be the case or not, we will not know on Monday. It's going to have to take place like 4 6 months before we understand, even maybe 9 12 months before we really see the impact of this. Yet I think Aussie and New Zealand might get hit further. And now something else that is also, um, related to Australian dollar. This is the potential stimulus from China. They're still silent, and I'm going to use the moment to open China 50. I have one long trade. We have this false breakout below the low. Do they wait for Trump to step in and say what he's gonna do before them taking action? I think might be the case.
I think they disappointed too many times, and the market is expecting something that they won't get.
If they don't turn the printer on, they're absolutely doomed.
I don't know. I don't know. But look, they had so many opportunities already in the last couple of months. They're not doing it.
I think they wait for Trump. I think
Why should they? I mean, this is just putting oil into the fire if they wait for him.
for
So,
them to,
so they wait for him to tease him.
no, they just wait for him to, um to get in power.
It's poking, it's poking problems if you wait for this. They could do that with the Biden administration quite quietly. Much more, I don't see it happening.
I think it will. What are their other options? I mean, they're I think I have a chart for a comparison between their GDP and US GDP. So they had a massive acceleration, and now they're flatline for like 2 ish years, and
Hmm.
US is shooting up. So I don't know what's going on.
But they play the long game, not the short game, right? China is thinking very, very different than the Western world. The Western world, in democratic world where you have every 4 year election, you can't think too long term. China is thinking much more long term and much more strategic.